Hey there, guys. We weren't connecting for a minute, so hopefully the connection is now there. Facebook friends and family, how are you? And others also, YouTube listeners and other venues that this show will go out on. How are you guys? Thank you so much for joining again tonight. I am Abigail Noel. I am what people call an intuitive therapist, or what people would call a psychic channel. And or a medium, and evidentiary medium. With that said, we're all psychic. I just happen to use and have been using my intuitive abilities to speak to people, to spirits, or what I like to often refer to as soul essences of people who have crossed out of body, out of the third realm, third dimension, and they move into the fourth and or the fifth and beyond. So I'm going to be going over some things tonight. This is, I think, my fourth or fifth, and all love you guys. I will make this symbol quite a bit. I've had some little bit of feedback that hasn't been so positive from a couple people. That's all right, man. I expected that when you jump out and kind of do what I'm doing, especially the first broadcast when I came out and I was actually in an altered state, a spiritually altered state, where the DMT levels in my brain were higher, and that was so I could receive the information that I was receiving from my heavenly team, as well as Prince Rogers Nelson, as clearly as I did. And I will get into that. Love to you as well. So with that, and I'll get into more of the details of the evidentiary information and details on this case that were brought through me as a psychic channel on Saturday after Prince crossed, after he was found. And I wanted to also, what I'm going to do is kind of what I want to do is address some of the comments that I've got as well. And I'm going to go through my notes and make sure. So again, we got that. I want to talk about a conscious channel versus an unconscious channel. What this is divine guidance. We all have the ability to hear God speaking. Anybody can learn how to hear God. And with that said, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm getting some background. Someone came to the door. My apologies. I am coming to you from Orange County, California. I'm staying with some friends, a girlfriend, dear friend, and her kids. And so again, we've got some noise in the house. I'm just trying to make sure everything's okay, so bear with me. And then, of course, I've got the dogs barking. We've got an amazing dog here. He's a big bully named Bubba, and so he's barking in the background. So let me get back on track, and just love to you all for listening tonight. Let me go back to this. We are all psychic if we choose to trust. So as you're listening to this broadcast, please ask from your heart, simply for truth. That's all that you're asking. And if you will please just get rid of anything that you believe that you think is true, because when you're working with God and divine guidance and what really is, it rarely is what we think. And that's because following God and to hear God, you've got to use your heart. Most of us are trained to come from a head space. And if that means coming from a space of fear. And a lot of people, it's very scary to let go of the beliefs that you have, especially when they're surrounding the topics that I'm talking about. And I understand that. So please, as you're listening, feel free to message with questions. I am not asking anybody to believe my truth. I'm asking you, as you're listening to this broadcast, to listen to my words with an open heart, and therefore you'll have an open mind and ask for the truth yourself. I will make this hand gesture and say infinite love and gratitude a lot. It's ingrained in who I am at this point because of an amazing technique called Lifeline, and I do recommend that anybody go and get it because, and I've been talking to my team a lot about this week because they've been talking to me a lot about, and a lot of this is going to sound like crazy conspiracy theory, guys. All I can tell you is I didn't follow politics nor watch the TV, and I haven't for 10 years before Prince Rogers Nelson made himself apparent to me on the Saturday after he crossed. And I've said this before, every time I say Saturday, he corrects me and says that he was trying to get my attention on Friday. But I didn't have a very good Friday. I was a little emotionally caught up in my own stuff, and so I really didn't recognize that he was in my light body, that his soul essence was with me and doing his best to communicate until Saturday, at which time I made it public to one of my dear soul sisters and friends, someone who's just so important to my heart, sweetheart, Christine Blossdale. She is the producer of KFPK Radio, and one of my dear friends, Camille, out in California, who's one of the clearest psychic channels and intuitive healers on the planet. And this is because I know this girl for a long time, and we speak daily. And we talk to her mama and her grandpa, and evidentiary information comes through that's unbelievable. In fact, I want to share this story because it's so much fun. And I will be telling some jokes as I move through some very serious things. You know why? Because why the hell not? With that said, infinite love and gratitude, I'll say it quite a bit. It's ingrained in a technique that I was called by my guidance, by my heart to go learn. I just had to. It's Dr. Darren Wiseman out of Chicago, and I'm told by my guides that it is the most, oh man, it's like, man, almost perfect is literally what I'm being told, and I just got chills. So please ask for that validation. It's an amazing process that combats mind control. It erases the programming of your childhood, the things that we're told. Most of our beliefs and what we believe are truths we move through our life are not our beliefs. They are beliefs that were told to us that we adopted. And then, and I'm just going to touch on it right now. I think we're going to get to it a little bit later. But yes, your government and other governments on this planet, and a lot of people, it's in the music industry, they know this. They've been using mind control. And so you get some lifeline, and I'll tell you what, nobody will control your mind. Please look into the process. And man, book a session with a lifeline therapist. That includes me, somebody who is skilled in it. Get with Dr. Darren Wiseman and learn it, go through the process. And so I've had some people talk to me about how they think this is a devil sign. No, this is a mudra that dates back so far in Hindi history and other cultures and teachings that we don't even know how old it is actually, and it stands for abundant love. So once again, guys, wrong. Okay, just like 666 is not a devil's sign. That's what the church taught you, so that we could stay in a place of fear and not hear God, whatever your definition of God is. I also need to say that I am not a registered voter and have not been. I think I was a registered voter for about 2 years, a long time ago, before I had kids. And this is wonderful because, guys, your truth can change, and thank God it does. Oh, thank God your truth changes. That means you're growing and you're learning and you're expanding and you're opening up to new ideas. Because there was a time in my life where I thought I was a Republican. Good God, that makes me kind of sick. Now, with that said, I would feel sick literally aligning myself to either party. No judgment for anybody out there that's listening, but I refuse. This two-party system is a joke, and they have used it to control your vote and your mind. And man, if you want to hear about the plan, and I'm not going to do that tonight, it's something else tonight, but please catch Out of the Box Radio. The link will be on my page. It comes out Friday, 3 o'clock, I think. Christine, if I'm off, let me know, but I think it's 3 o'clock, and that'll be Pacific Standard Time. With that said, that's funny. Somebody said you're a Republican. Yeah, I'm serious. But I didn't really know any better actually. And then I started studying politics for a time. That was years ago though. Before this 10 years that I haven't paid attention to anything. I don't have any idea since before Obama went into office, what's gone on. I don't follow it. I don't watch the news. I don't follow all that shit on the internet. I don't care. I don't study stars' lives. I just kind of appreciate them from afar. But it's just funny. So yes, thank God our truth can change. Hello, Trace, Rach, I love you so much. Tammy, mwah, love to you and to your whole family, and John Michael, Hayes, mwah, and Ash. Thank you guys all for joining. And I missed other folks, so jump back in and keep typing, because I do my best to balance both. It's kind of fun to read and then try and stay on track when I already live in a really fractal place. With that said, I want to talk again. I want to go back. And again, lifeline.com, infinite love and gratitude, thank you.com, and you will find out all about why I do this a lot. It is not a devil mudra, folks. With love, please get the F over it. Kind of a funny thing, and let me go to that. I've had some slack, which I knew I would. People are like, she's not talking to God because she curses too much. Okay. Well, you know what? I have a message from heaven. Please ask for full chills, because everyone has a hypothalamus. You've got nerves. You have hair. If you have a brain in your head and you've got some hair somewhere on your body, then you can get chills. And science now will tell you, quantum studies will tell you that the only way that can happen is from an outside source, and that we receive all the time electrical currents from heaven, whatever your definition. It's a great oneness. Even the greatest thinkers in history talked about tapping into the collective consciousness. Hello, guys, with love. Wake up. It's all the same thing. It's just that the atheists didn't swallow this ridiculous definition of God we've currently been given. You do not need a middleman to connect to God. Why would your God, which by the way is mama and daddy love, there's a masculine and feminine God that we came from, and science now supports the theory that God is love, the highest power. With that said, why would your mother and father, your creator, your creatrix, only want to talk to some of their children? That doesn't sound like a loving mother or father to me. So take it from here to here. Don't take it from Abigail. Take it from here to here and ask if God wants to talk to you too. Just in from heaven. They literally just pointed out, pardon me one moment, infinite love and gratitude to some allergies that have been kicking up. They just pointed out that's part of the reason that I'm so imperfect, and that I curse. Because wow, if God will tell me, if God will tell Abigail, if I can hear Prince Rogers Nelson tell me, and he did on Saturday, right after he crossed, before the news said anything, and it is recorded, and it is absolutely validated, and the Associated Press has now validated it with an interview 4 or 5 days later. And now, why, guys, don't I know dates? Because I don't care. I am to be a conscious, clear channel. For me to do that, I do not watch the news. Guys, when you send me links, please don't put them on my message. Don't post them on my page. People think that I represent what you post on my page. I appreciate it. Now, if you know it absolutely follows this message, then yes, be bold. And I'm checking all the time. Okay, but somebody posted on my page that Prince had gotten Percocet from some doctor just days before, some shit, and that was validated. And I'm telling you, I don't care what the news said. That was reported by TMZ, by the way. And TMZ is owned by Time Warner. Who do you think is responsible? And then we'll get into that, because really it's Hillary Clinton. She's the one who called the shots, okay? But it went through Time Warner, who makes all the money, because the Illuminati is the top, basically about 25 people in the world, and then whoever they let in their magical mystery club, and they invite all the Hollywood people, and we'll get into that later, Beyonce, Jay-Z. We're going to talk about it, because Spirit showed me what you did, Jay-Z. You brought her in just like Tom brought in Nicole and Katie, and just like, man, they barely made it out with their life. Beyonce's running scared. You guys ask if that's what's going on. Chills. I just got them, because I don't know these people. I don't know. I'm just calling for truth. God, love, and truth, they are interchangeable. You cannot have one without another in the room. So if you know God, then ask for truth, and you'll receive it. Period. I'm going to jump back for a moment, because I missed something, and the Spirit will always bring you back. And so with that said, yes, my first coming out, and it was very, very, very challenging as someone who's innately shy and grew up shy to do this the first time. But I knew the information I was receiving was accurate, because I've been doing this for 8 years, and I was asked by Prince and my guides, by who I call Abba. He called him Father Jehovah. I call him Abba or Daddy. I was asked, and I do what I'm asked, and I'm told that Prince lived the same way. He and I have talked a lot, and that is the way I work. He'll walk with me in my light body, and I will communicate with his soul essence, just like a friend, sometimes like an investigator, because someone will bring me something, or they'll post something. And so what I do is I ask him. I don't assume that I know, and I don't try and fiddle in my mind and conjure up, well, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, infinite love and gratitude. So I put myself out there in an altered state where my DMT level was raised. And man, that's a weird place to be. I don't eat much at all. I do as I'm directed, and I do nothing but write and take notes and ask questions and watch the movies so that I can be sure of what happened. And everything that I brought through was validated 4 to 5 days later, and you guys can look at the interview with Ray Roberts in the Associated Press. And I want to ask you, and I'm going to keep screaming it from the rooftop, because Ray Roberts and Juell Roberts, please turn state's evidence. Turn state's evidence. Do the right thing. All right? Do the right thing. Ray Roberts, you reported to the Associated Press that you had checked the refrigerator, that you went there to the house the next day. It's funny because people say help showed up at the house. You guys showed up at the house because you were concerned about Prince. Kind of like that post that he posted about why you were bringing all that soup back, and we'll talk about that later. It was kind of funny. With that said, Ray Roberts told the Associated Press 4 or 5 days later, when they were questioning him to find out if the information I brought through about Prince not eating his dinner that night, he hadn't eaten for hours, about seeing the last person he saw was his female chef about 8 o'clock that night, that he asked her to make him a mixture of water, which she had a filtration system, a whole house filtration system, and he asked her to put lemons, crushed lemons, sweetened with pineapple and pineapple juice. Now, how could I make that up? There is no way I could have made that shit up. He even told me that it was because for his digestion, and the Associated Press, literally Ray Roberts, they validated all that. They said, did he use it for digestion? Yes, he used it. He did pineapple for digestion and for health. It was a health tonic. And then he literally said to the Associated Press, yes, he had been concerned because he checked the refrigerator and noticed that Prince didn't eat his food. Prince was dead. Why would that be what you do, is check the refrigerator, sir, to find out if he ate the tainted food that you put in it from the night before, because you had been feeding him arsenic for a long time. They're trying to make it look like AIDS. Man, infinite love and gratitude, and this isn't the only case, because Eazy-E was taken out as well. Why? Tupac, money rights. Money rights. Michael Jackson owned the rights to the Beatles. Remember all the upset? There are people. See, there are people in the world, in this world, and they run our government, guys. Why am I telling you this? Because my channels tell me it's true. And then people want to tell me Prince wasn't into all this. You know, this is two things. Prince was into this, and you can look at it. He loved Dick Gregory. He was following Dick Gregory. He was making it known. He's made it public. It's all over the place. He was talking about the chemtrails. He wrote slave on his face to message to the music industry and Time Warner to tell them to fuck off. And then this is funny, let me address this. I have people who tell me that there is just no way I could be talking for Prince, because if I was, because Prince didn't cuss. All right, here's how it works, guys. I'm a conscious channel. If you were to hire an attorney, are you going to tell that attorney not to curse because you don't? No, in fact, you probably want the attorney that curses a little bit. That's the one that's going to win in the fucking courtroom. Got it? Infinite love and gratitude. And the other message from heaven is this. If you don't like it, man, this is what I'll tell you. Your judgment stinks far worse than any word I'm going to use. And they're telling me to tell you a little story, and it's true. Check it out, guys. The word fuck came from like back in 1580 something, when the kings and queens who ruled all the people, see, they fed them, they took care of them, and then basically the people worked and gave the castle everything. Look how we're doing it again. And the kings and queens, when they couldn't feed people, okay, let them eat cake, then what they would do is called population control. And we're doing it today with the chemtrails, Monsanto. They're putting cancer, I'm going to talk about this, carcinogenic activators in your food, okay, in your food. They've been testing it on us, and then this is what they told everybody. How great. It's because it's going to make it more economical. It's this superfood. It produces more corn and more soy. Well, everyone knows that like eating a whole bunch of corn and soy isn't really smart anyway, okay? And then we feed it to cattle, makes them sick, and from gratitude, oh my God. Let me go back to the point. they were making us sick with cancer, and then they're literally profiting off the big pharma, the cure, as they call it, when they created the cancer, just like our government created AIDS. Full chills. Ask as I'm speaking. Infinite love and gratitude. Truth is light. Jacqueline, you're Ray. Dominique, Deb, Ash, infinite love and gratitude to you guys. Please keep supporting. It means so much to me. And as I said again on the first video, hey, yeah, that's a lot of energy to channel, and anyone who channels will understand that. And anyone also, this is the age of the conscious channel, which is called divine guidance. Okay, I can have a conversation, they can check in with me. It's like having a talk show in my head. That's a lot. It was a lot of energy to channel, and that evening especially, with all of the emotion I had about not wanting, oh yes, I wanted to come forward and say that Hillary Clinton murdered Prince. That was on my bucket list of things to do. Right after stand-up comedy, I'm just going to call out Hillary Clinton as a murderer for fun. So yeah, infinite gratitude. And to be a channel, you'd have to be one. So what I would say to people who watch the video is, before you judge, just think and just ask with an open mind what it would be like to carry that kind of emotion and to be handling that kind of truth. It takes a lot of balance, and it took a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, and I'm one badass bitch. Hillary, I'm coming for you. I know the truth. I know the truth, and not just you, every other clown and joker. We're going to take our country back, because people, for the people, by the people has been not for a long time. This country is not set up as Jefferson intended. All right, the Masons have been, they've been crooked for a long time, kind of like when the Catholic Church turned on the Knights Templar. Ask. Your country and that seat has been run by a higher power, a group of people who are very powerful and very rich, and they have been manipulating Hollywood for a long time, making Hollywood look like crazy people that are just crazy drug addicts, and they're out there just getting AIDS. The same way our government created AIDS and then released it in Africa to control the population. They just talk about feeding the people in Africa. They don't really want to do it. They don't have any money. They'd have to print some more because the Fed's a joke, and then they'll have to make another deal with some other country. That's the way it works. So with that said, they released it because it should be better to. And then I know people go, well, it's not true because the population in Africa went up. You know what? How many times has our government tried something that backfired in their face? They can't even make money off the postal system. I think they should have hired Fred Smith from FedEx to come in and straighten them out. That's what I think. So it's really funny to me when people are like, why would the government do something so stupid like that? It didn't work. Oh my God. Really? I didn't say these people were smart. I said they were really rich and really powerful. Did Hitler win? Did Hitler win? No. Okay, that didn't go so well for him either. The way I remember, didn't he like get blown up? Infinite love and gratitude. It's funny, well, anyway, I just bring through what comes through, but as for chills, they told me he had erectile dysfunction. And I don't mean to be laughing, because I'm not laughing at anybody who does, but like they're telling me little man syndrome and like major, and I'm just telling you, that kind of shit fucks people up, and then they seek power other places. And that's because we have such a horrible definition of God, and we've been taught to fear God, and the church told you needed a middle man. And so going back to on point, I am a conscious psychic channel. We are all psychic. That is one of the way I use my intuitive abilities. And I'm also an evidentiary medium, which is why, again, I was able on Saturday. And you know why I don't do dates? Because someone else, was like, your dates are wrong. Your dates are wrong. Okay. You know what? With love, I haven't bought into the illusion of time or money for almost 6 years now. So with respect, you know what? I don't do dates. I don't even know what today's date is. I just know that today is, I think, Wednesday, and I've got to do stand-up comedy in North Hollywood at Shaky Town Live on Saturday, and I need to be there at 7:30. So that's what I know. And I go day by day, moment by moment. I didn't know I was going to be doing this, so I can give a shit about dates. That's why I have all of these wonderful people supporting me that come in and tell me. So I love it when you guys do that, when you're like, hey, it was this, you're right, Saturday was, I think, the 24th, or maybe it was the 23rd, whatever. I don't give a shit. The Saturday after Prince died, how's that for a date? Infinite love and gratitude. I just swear to God. It just irritates me. And then, you know, am I goofy? Yeah, I'm goofy, and you know what, it feels good. Maybe you guys should try it. Just try it in your love and gratitude. Because what's funny is, you know, when people piss you off, you want to do the same thing to them. And I'm kind of having fun with this. So hey, whoever that was, we got all pissy about my dates, which cracks me up because I didn't have the date right. Okay, but I just happened to tell you that the last person Prince saw was his female cook in his house at 8 o'clock, that he went to bed about 10:10, that he started feeling very sick right before midnight, that he was gone by 12:30, that he tried to call a friend before because he didn't even trust law enforcement in town. I told everybody on Saturday, after he died, before the press released it, that he didn't eat his dinner that night because he didn't trust the food. He thought he was being poisoned. He showed me King Tut and Nefertiti. And I will tell you, God, I know why he showed me that, because my father, Abba, had already told me, he's told me a lot of stories about how we have history incorrect. Nefertiti was poisoning Tut over a long period of time. Why? Because if Tut became king and remained king, then his mother would eventually, she would be queen, and she was rightfully queen, and they were, one of them had to go. It's kind of like Hillary and I right now. One of us is going to go. And so with that said, and I'd like to see her in a cell. I thought this was perfect. We could indict her for the murder of Prince, because that's rightfully what should happen, and then everything else will fall into place and everyone will know that it's true. And then we need to put her in a cell with her husband Bill, and then they will have to sleep with each other for the first time in their marriage. And I think that would be perfect. I think that'd be great for both of them, because they deserve it. Also, it was just a little thing Spirit brought through today, and I'm just speaking it, man. But it's really funny. We got Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby, like BC, before Christ, and neither one of them, like, can stop putting their dicks places it doesn't belong. So hey, and feel around. And I'm not saying, if you're, you know, please don't say, because it'll be, she said everybody with the initials. No, I didn't. I just said I think it's funny that right now, you know, in Flower Gratitude, and it's funny how everyone gives Bill Clinton this big pass, you know, while the Clinton Foundation receives most of its money from the United Arab Emirates. That's so funny. You know why? Because they're trying to rule all the oil in the sand land. That's what I was told. Going back to this, there's you know, there's some psychics online that are doing a lot of this, and it's wonderful. I think it's great. Any and all support. I'm asking if I should say a name, and I think I'll just be real, because he's awesome. He's awesome, and I think his name's John Tittle, but please check him out, because he's also talking about this one world order, and his guides are bringing it through, and he is clear, and he has got this story on Prince as well. But it's funny, because I just want to ask why. If you're a psychic and a channel, then you shouldn't, I'm sorry to should, but really you shouldn't. You should not be on the news or thinking, like he had brought up this point. So he's talking about what happened to Prince and what his guidance is telling him. And it was a little more general, but he's getting the same things, that he was being poisoned long term. They were trying to make it look like AIDS. What I am fairly, what I know in Lower Gratitude, because I was told, and I just got chills, asked for him. Yes, he'd been to a doctor. He had some blood work done, and they were trying to find out why his red blood cells were so sticky, why he was lacking oxygen, why he was anemic. That is a sign of arsenic poisoning. Also, he complained of joint, and especially the hip, pain, bone disintegration is also part of arsenic poisoning. What's crazy is Prince was seen on a cane Okay, well, so was King Tut. King Tut walked with a cane from an early age. They didn't know why he was so sickly. Flu-like symptoms, not wanting to eat. King Tut, they didn't want to eat. He was always very thin, very frail. Same thing. I was told, by my guidance, I was shown that King Tut was poisoned by Nefertiti, just as I'm shown how a lot of other Bible stories, just mythical stories, are throughout history. And they're not mythical stories, but stories that carry archetypal, mythical archetypal patterns over and over again, have been misportrayed. And so, and please, you guys, so many people study Carl Jung and, other great thinkers, but please, can you start applying it to your life and not just quoting him on Facebook? Okay? The synchronicities are God speaking. There is no such thing as coincidence. Science now supports what I'm saying. I'm going to say it again. Good God. There is no such thing as coincidence. There's only synchronicity. That is God speaking.